Hey Maddsters! It's like 4:45 on Sunday. This week is my core course Positive Psychology's long study tour. Every kid at DIS has the opportunity to go somewhere else in Europe for a week. And so my class is going to Krakow, Poland. I'm excited, still a little nervous just because like core course week was so long and I was just exhausted and just like drained from that. But I think it'll be fine. Really excited to go to Poland and I just really want to eat a pierogi.
So we found this cute little farmer's market here. I got the classic Polish sausage. It's fantastic. Celia?
Pierogies, so good. Pierogies, sausage and potatoes.
Nice.
Sausage and cabbage with meat.
We love to see it. And it's like so cheap, which is just so great. Here is a pierogi store we found. I'm like kind of a donut connoisseur and I love donuts. And at my home, there's this place called Country Donuts that has the best pierogis for Fat Tuesday. And so now I'm in Poland and I got the classic rose pierogi. Okay, the outside is fantastic. It's like a glazed donut, but the inside, I thought there was gonna be cream, but obviously it's rose, so it's like rose, but it's like a sweet flowery jam, which is pretty good. I prefer the cream, but the outside donut, like the outside part of it, like a fantastic donut. Maddsters! So now we are on a city walk tour of Krakow for the next 3 hours. At this Chopin concert for piano. Hannah, how was dinner?
It was so good. It was really yummy. So we had falafel and hummus for the appetizer, and then I got chicken zucchini, right?
Yeah.
It was so good. Yeah, I got the baklava.
Oh, okay, baklava, fantastic. I got the beef tahini. It was okay, but the appetizers were really great. Maddsters, it's Monday!
Good morning!
Today we went and talked to a psychologist who's actually from America and then he moved to Poland. He was awesome, like so cool. What a guy.
He was really cool. I really liked him.
And now I think we're going to the Schindler Museum. I do museums very fast and I walked through the Schindler Factory Museum, which is super interesting. Should have watched the movie before I came. That was my bad. And then I got lost and so I don't really know where anyone else is, but I'm on my quest to find really great pierogis, so there's a local like pierogi place around here that I'm going to. Here is the pierogi from Joseph Wilk. I read on a blog that these are supposed to be the best, so very excited. Let's try it. The outside is more dense than the one than yesterday. Minus points for that. I did read that they're kind of more like Jewish, so it's kind of dense like challah bread rather than the nice fluffy like fried dough. So we're into the center with the rose. So this rose filling is sweeter than the one that I had yesterday, but I don't necessarily like it better because it tastes very fruity and very jammy. And the outside is not as great.
Hi, I'm Sammy.
We are now on a tour of the Jewish ghetto. So today's Tuesday and we are actually going to go visit Auschwitz, which is the famous concentration camp during the Holocaust. So Going to Auschwitz today was just such a surreal experience. I've learned about the Holocaust multiple times throughout middle school and high school, but it's always felt very distant, so it was just so eye-opening and just so crazy to actually be standing in the concentration camp where 1 million people were murdered. And it was just so hard to wrap my head around, because you read the books, you watch the movies of all these atrocities that have been happening, but to actually like be in the spot where it happened was just so insane. And we had like a wrap-up discussion where we kind of talked about it, which I think was really good. Easy to forget that these things happened, I think, especially living in America and being so physically far from it. But I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have gone and seen it. I don't know, it was just such an interesting experience, and I think if you have the opportunity to go, you should definitely go.
Today is Wednesday, and we are going to a music therapist, and then a monastery, and then the salt mines. So we'll do a lot today.
People went to this Michelin star restaurant yesterday, and they said it was really good. It's called Restaurant Dorema, I think. And so I'm just here eating dinner by myself, which is totally, if you guys are afraid to eat dinner by yourself, like, don't be, because I just sat down. I don't want to waste time ordering. Like, I looked at the menu beforehand. I know what I ordered. I was like, hi, just seat for one. And she's like, okay, here's the menu. And I'm like, I already know what I'm ordering, so like, please bring it out. It's just so much faster. And I think I realized I do kind of like doing solo things more while traveling, just because I can kind of choose what I want to do, and I have like anxiety around like what to order and like how much money to spend. So if I'm just by myself, I can not be super anxious about it. And I'm not saying that my group or my class is bad. It's just like I like to be alone sometimes.
So in classic Polish fashion, I got the pierogis, which are like potato pot sticker kind of things.
The inside has some like cheese, onion, and something else, I think. Fantastic. The outside is very light and very fluffy. The filling is really delicious. It has a lot of great flavors. Really great stuff here.
In and out of dinner in 20 minutes, and now I'm gonna go get a chimney cake. Taking a break from the punchies because I've kind of had a lot. Here we are. So I got the Nutella Oreo chimney cake, and let's try it. Looks fantastic.
Okay, soft serve is pretty good. It's a little milky though. It was also kind of a little icy, but I got down to the chimney cake part. Like a cinnamon roll, and it's covered in cinnamon sugar. Pretty good. I think the issue is the Nutella is a bit overwhelming, so you can't really taste the chimney, like the churro part. So here's a closer look at it. It's a little bit more doughy than a normal churro. A cross between a churro and a cakey donut, because it's not as light as like normal fried dough. I don't know, not sure how to really explain it. I still love my punchkis, but this is a nice switch up.
Today's Thursday, and we had our last academic visit where we talked to a pastor here in Poland, and he like wrote a book about forgiveness. And then we had a wrap-up debrief session. I'm now on a PACZKI CRAWL. I feel like genuinely sick to my stomach for some reason, but today's my last day, so I have to get the punchkis. It's like not gonna be good for me, but you know what, I'm never coming back to Poland, so might as well just do it and suffer for a little bit. So I got my 2 punchkis, one from Michelin, which is supposed to be pretty good, and then one from Starza. I don't know, I was just walking and I saw it, so I will try it. Unfortunately, they're both rose, which I'm like kind of annoyed with because I don't really like rose, but you know, it's all part of the experience. From Michelin, it has a nice glazed top, but it's not all around glaze. Here's my bites. I got the glaze, a little bit of the rose, and the body.
Okay, the rose has a very floral, but almost tangy taste. So it's not bad. It just has a different flavor than the other ones. The body is pretty good. It has a little bit of a citrusy flavor though, which I'm not sure how I feel about it. Here's the one from Starza. Once again, only the top is glazed, like the bottom isn't really glazed. Ooh, okay. Look at this inside. Only like half of it is filled. What? That's not great. This jam is not as tangy, but it tastes very jammy, very dense too. So that one was definitely the worst, probably because it was the cheapest. So I don't know the name of this restaurant, but it's like pretty bougie. Okay, so this place looks like they have really fancy donuts. I'm gonna get the pudding. So I'm super excited about this one because it has the pudding, which is normally what I get back home at Country Donuts. It looks pretty yeasty. It's kind of covered in like cocoa maybe. You got the pudding and you got the bread on the other side. This is like not a donut. I do like the pudding. It's not as sweet as the ones at home. But the bread is like one of those pastries that you get at Sam's Club that's like from the bakery but like kind of fake. This is like so disappointing. I was super hyped for this. That was not worth the $2.25. Kind of annoyed. So I'm like kind of obsessed with Poland now just because it is so insanely cheap. I got 3 donuts, this like salad, and some other like gift candy stuff, souvenir stuff for literally $11, which is crazy because normally in like the US or in Copenhagen, like this is $11. Like this doesn't even look good, but I just like need a vegetable right now. I'm not feeling as terrible as I did in Belgium because like I've been taking literally like tiny bites of these donuts. But yeah, really need a vegetable. I have a really good feeling about this one. This place had the basics plus other good ones, which look really great. Like if you like filled donuts, like Poland is the place for you. This is in a triangle, so switch up from the traditional circle. As you can see, it has a totally glazed exterior. It feels very light and very fluffy. Okay, you guys can see there's like no cream, so that's kind of worrisome. Okay, here's what we got. Some custard with the dough. This is it. The cream on the inside is fantastic. It's kind of a heavier pudding, and the doughy part here is fantastic. Super light, exactly like the perfect glazed donut. And then you add the custard to it. Fantastic. Pierogi making workshop. Pierogi making workshop. Have you ever made pierogies? I've not. Me neither. First time for everything.
Będziemy mieli Państwo przyjemność zrobienia pierogów z 3 różnymi farszami.
I think I don't need to just like fancy.
Tak, aby pozbyć się nadmiaru powietrza.
Okay, Julia, our resident pierogi maker, talk us through this.
Okay, so Maddie rolled the dough here. So you grab one of these, which is pretty thin, honestly, and then you can pick the topping to put in it, but I'm gonna do potato because that's my favorite. So you do, honestly, a little bit less than you think you would want to, and then you put it in the middle, and then what I do is I put my finger here and go like this, and then you start at the end and you start to squeeze it down. You gotta make sure that there's like no air in it so that when it's boiling that it doesn't open up. And then you make sure it's all shut, and then you can do fun, like you can go like this, or you can just be done.
Wow, look at that, so beautiful.
Yes.
Look at these. So the pierogies that we made were decent. Some of them were a little thicker if people didn't roll them out all the way. Otherwise, the ones from the Michelin star restaurant were a lot more tastier and had a lot more flavor. But these weren't too bad. Happy Friday. Today's our last day. It's pretty much just a travel day. Of course, I have to get my paczki. So apparently I've been saying it wrong the whole time, which is really sad. But it's a paczki, not a punchki, and not a patchki. So I'm at this bakery called Evitex, and I got chocolate paczki. So from the outside, it looks kind of like a vanilla Long John, but it has a chocolate filling. In comparison to the amount of dough, there's not very much filling. I think it's also because this bread is so long. Very yeasty, very doughy. The inside filling is very thick, almost like a chocolate ganache. Definitely gives me like Dunkin' Donut vibes, as in like I would never choose it, but it's not like awful. Not the best though. I cannot end my Polish trip on a bad PACZKI, so we are back at Dobra, which has the best. So I think this is either my 7th or 8th taste of a PACZKI here. So I would say I'm quite the expert, and out of all of them, Dobra PACZKI CRAWL was the best, which was the one that I ate on the first day, but it was rose filled. So I went back and got the chocolate nut spread filled. So it sounds like Nutella. It has a totally glazed exterior with some like nuts at the top. The issue with the triangles is that it's so dense that it's hard to get a lot of the filling in there. The donut is just so insanely good. However, I'm disappointed that this is so hollow and there's not much filling in there. Nutella-esque filling, but more chocolatey, I believe. Also some nuts on the inside. I do think that Dobra has the best outside donuts. Like, these are fantastic. This filling was not as good as the rose. And in general, my personal preference is the kind of pudding, Bavarian cream, Boston cream filling. But these donuts are just like out of this world.
Just a quick recap. This was a school trip. I have personally never been on a group field trip or a school trip for that matter, so this was definitely a first. Got to do some cultural visits as well as like educational visits. So when we talked to the psychotherapist, the art therapist, and then the pastor, and then did all those tours. So I did learn a lot about Krakow. I honestly like wasn't expecting much from Poland. All I know about it are the donuts. This was actually like a pleasant experience. I love how cheap it was. If you guys like donuts as much as I do, 10 out of 10 recommend going to Poland. Go to Dobra. That's like the best place ever. Country Donuts, I do love you. Still, because your fillings are kind of better than Dobra's fillings. But then it's like Dobra is literally like a PACZKI in Poland. So like they have to win kind of. So Country Donuts, I do still love you. I don't think I'm gonna eat another donut for like a year probably, just because I've eaten a lot. And I still have like all those left over. I think a good experience. I'm tired. I'm excited to go back to Copenhagen and rest for the weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Bye, Maddsters!